Hello and welcome back to another movie review. As always, I'm Kelly, and I just got out of Rambo: Last Blood. And it really does feel like an ending, so I hope they kind of stick with that. No joke, I think this is like the year of just franchise-ending movies, because it seems like every time we get a sequel, it's finishing up a previous storyline, and it does it very well. Come on, Terminator, you can do it too. You can do it too, Terminator. Who am I kidding? That Terminator movie is probably gonna suck. But back on topic with Rambo, this movie is a Rambo movie. It's essentially a Rambo movie, but with a lot more heart and soul than you would think would be inside of a Rambo movie. But it's essentially just another Rambo movie. If you don't like the last Rambo movies, you're not going to like this movie. If you like the big old blood and guts, it'll take a little bit to get there, but it'll still be worth the wait, and it is enjoyable. This movie overall, non-spoilers, it's worth watching. It's worth investing inside of, especially if you followed the Rambo movies from beginning to end. It really does feel like this is the ending for this character. I don't know where else they could possibly take this, because they've pretty much shown everything else a returning soldier can do other than just put him in a room and have him mow people down again. They did that. They did that epically with the 50 caliber scene in the last one. Admittedly, they're not in a room, but I don't see how you can do that scene better. But for those who want to stay for a little bit more spoilers, let's actually talk about what I think specifically this movie did good. By God, the action is amazing. I'm just going to jump right into it, because when there is action on this screen, it is fucking brutal. In fact, if I were to compare this to another movie, I'd say it was Sicario 1, with just how brutal it looks, how brutal it portrays this action, and just how visceral it feels. This isn't the Rambo from the last movie who was just mowing people down with the 50 cal and the bodies were exploding. No, this is the Rambo who sticks his fucking thumb down into your shoulder, gets underneath your clavicle bone, and then just starts slowly tearing it out to get you to do what he wants. Again, if you don't like that kind of thing, you're not gonna like this movie. But frankly speaking, it fits with Rambo, and I like it. And the only reason why Sicario isn't up here is because I don't have that movie with me here in this student housing building. It's back out in California, so the closest you get is Logan over there. But just like how the action makes you feel in this, so does the story, surprisingly. All the trailers made this movie look out like it was Home Alone, but with Rambo, essentially that one ending sequence inside of Skyfall. While it is that, it's not that until the third act. The first two acts, this is more Taken than anything else. Rambo has essentially retired. He finally found peace in an adoptive family, and while they call the girl his niece, it's his adoptive daughter, and that's the way the movie basically portrays their entire relationship. He'll do anything for this fucking daughter, who makes a stupid mistake and goes down to Mexico and gets picked up by one of those drug smuggling, sex trafficking rings. Up until the point when Rambo actually does go down to Mexico to go and pick her up, they really build just how not really perfect his life is, but how lucky he was to find what he did. And it brings a new layer to the Rambo character as a whole over the course of all of these films. He doesn't want to go out and fight anymore. He doesn't want to be a soldier. He just wants to go home. Kind of like Captain America in Endgame. He's been fighting for so long. He finally found something, and he finally settled down. He finally got it. It's not perfect, but he loves it. Also, shout out to the girl who played his daughter in this, Yvette Monreal. I butchered that, but that's pretty normal for my show. She genuinely brought a lot to this pretty one-note character. You really do get the sense that she is conflicted between her 17 teenager I know everything mentality, but also respecting her father figure inside of this and wanting to listen to him. But she just can't balance that, which leads her to make a stupid decision, and Rambo tries to get her out of it. Obviously, this is what brings in the conflict later on, and when they finally do get to the bloodbath stuff, I mean, Jesus Christ, this really is Home Alone with Rambo, because there is a lot of shit going on. Just trap after trap, pitfalls, spike ledges, guns going off, doors that set off freaking crossbows or shoot shrapnel or grenades. I mean, the variety, if nothing else, in this one sequence is astounding. And going on with that theme of just comparing it to movies, I kind of feel that this is John Wick in a way, because of just how varied the action is and just how many things are going on, the technical side of it, and the brutality of just making you see this stuff, like the pencil scene inside of the second John Wick, or the eyeball stab in the third one. It really feels like they understand how to make that really impact and make you feel it. But I should probably go on to what I feel this movie failed at, and if there is one thing it failed at, it's pacing. It's really slow in the first act, and it picks up in the second act where things are actually happening. But the first act, I think they spent a little bit too much time, on Rambo's family inside of this, and some of the little drama things. It's not bad, but it feels like it needed to be a little bit faster paced. There is another lull in the second act, but frankly speaking, that is well deserved, and it's great build up for the third act. But the first act, it just feels like you could have shaved maybe 5 to 10 minutes off that and just streamlined it a bit. That's all I'm saying. And honestly, there is one other section where the pacing is weird, and it's in the final third act scene, the Home Alone scene, where they never really let you linger on any of the gore for some reason. Oh, they'll show it off. They'll show a guy, get his head like that, but they'll only leave it on there for maybe a second or two before suddenly cutting. Usually when you have a gore fest like this, whether it be action or actual torture genres, they tend to linger on these shots because they're the money shots. They're what you're here for. This movie doesn't really seem to want to do that, and it feels like the action is just too fast. Everything is just happening real quick, super fast. And again, I think that's to show how Rambo operates. This man is a fucking gore machine, and he works efficiently. But I feel that the movie probably would have been better if it took those 5 or 10 minutes from the first act and put them inside of the third act and just let these sequences draw out just a bit so that we can really feel the pain that a lot of these drug dealers and human traffickers are actually feeling when they go through this shit. A lot of it happens so fast that it's hard to process. One guy dies, and before you even look at the trap he's in, it's cut to the next guy dying, getting his freaking limbs chopped off. And just how did the other guy die? One guy, I couldn't even tell. It kind of looked like he went through the razor wire thing where it's just onto his face. But I can't tell if that's what was going on or if it was a pitchfork to the face. It was just too fast. But again, that's mostly build up for what happens at the very end of this sequence, which they do put part of it in the trailer, but at the same time, it's very, very good, and it really deserves its praise. That is the money shot to end this movie on, and they knew it, and it was good. So overall, is this movie really good? Yes. This movie is really enjoyable. If you are a fan of Rambo, you will love this movie. If you don't like the Rambo movies, why the fuck are you even going? If you're one of those guys looking for something to complain about, there's much better things to complain about. I'm sure Ad Astra is going to have something in there worth it. So my final verdict on this one is, see it. It's not a must-see. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but you can spend full price on a movie ticket here, and you will not be disappointed. And hell, we're finally getting out of the September, August little dead zone where they're throwing trash at us. We're finally getting the good movies. More of this, please. More. And that's it for me. Have you seen Rambo? Any of the Rambos? Tell me what you thought about them in the comments down below. Let's get some healthy discussion going. And as always, if you like what you see, be sure to hit the like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Everything that helps build this channel so that I can one day hopefully make my money back on going to all of these movies, because I probably spend more on that than I do on anything else in the world, even food, and I'm a fat man. Also, I've been streaming pretty consistently Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Been playing Pokemon Heart Gold randomized in a Nuzlocke. I'm going to change up the game here in the next little month just for October. But on Tuesdays, for sure, I'm going to be leaving Pokemon on that day, just changing the game. So come on down, support the show, enjoy everything that I have, and yeah, that's it for me. So I guess I'll see you all next time.